Keep on the harsh enough. You need help. Your body before cancer. That shit is blessed. And that shit is blessed. I don't know what's in the ad. What you find? Yo. Bazooka. No, darling. No. No. Dear Father in heaven, let my girl high. You all of the time. I watch myself on the internet just to see what you'd find. All your things in my room. All of the time. You make it look so easy. Accepted. Yo. You producing? Please. Viral. You know? You're adorbs. Tell me everything. How's school? How's the room? Yo. Cause watching Dexter, and I know I'll avoid leaving clues behind. This is fire shit. Whoops. It's only with brothers. Breathe, yo, breathe, Yesy. Breathe, Yesy, what the heck? Don't blink, it's your boy Yank. Because you walk to having a wonderful day. So it is listening to Candy Shop, which I gotta say, usually I don't like when people put their music too loud, but this time I'll be very, very cool with it. I got some great news. We have the computer on, we have little bites, which are delightful. I am going to be recapping The Good Place. Now, what you're saying, Ink, this is not that's not the move, Brody. By the way, Brody is a cool name. Thank you for calling me Brody. Because yesterday you kind of gave up, right? I gotta say, yesterday I felt like the show was kind of caca. But today I'm watching it and I'm amazed. And I finally remember why it was that good. Season 3 is gonna be straight up bussing. So doesn't matter because right now where we are is we are with Derek. So the problem I have right now is I don't remember where I stopped the review, and that's not true because I know exactly where we stopped. Season 2, episode 4, existential crisis. Now you know what's insane? I saw my social worker today, and we talked about existential crisis and identity crisis. So this is kind of, oh, we have a tournament soon. Hey, it's gonna be important. We have a tournament soon, so. Yeah, this is bad. We have a tournament soon, so I'm gonna have to do this. Oh, I have 35 minutes, 40 minutes to watch it, to do it. So it's not a big deal if we don't do it right away. I'll take you to the candy shop. I'll let you lick the lollipop. You gonna do the 1, 2 stop. Oh, There you go, perfect. Don't blink, shit. Funny thing is, when I upload, you're gonna hear the intro, and when you hear the intro, the same intro as this one. Should we change the intro? I shall think not. You know, right? My mom bought these yesterday, and they're busted. They are straight up busted. Something I heard my neighbor, my 87 years old, saying. So, since she's the coolest kid on the block, I'm gonna be copying her. Visual Crisis is actually pretty good. We have the whole thing, which do we trust Michael or not, right? Now, this is the cool thing because a reason for them to trust Michael, and again, I think I'm oversaturated with the show, but it's so freaking good. Because a good reason to trust Michael is if he follows shitty courses. Now, if he follows shitty courses, it will be more trustworthy. Now we're not sure. What is super cool is we have Vicky, who kind of fucks over Michael. And it's like, yo, this is my neighborhood right now. This is super cool because, first of all, to betray Michael betrayed them. And I think that Michael knew that the neighborhood didn't work, and there's no saving it. I think that he's okay with her taking over because it will lead to failure. This is really good. We have the questions of she. Now, what I will say is that we did trade something for something else. We traded Michael for Jason that takes the course. Now, am I okay with this? Yes and no. Do I prefer Michael as a character? Absolutely. However, if you're trading off, then you're making the whole point of Jason taking the course completely useless. We're missing half. So cool. By the way, I was lacking motivation yesterday. Oh, I got a text. We have it back. It was so good. Ink, shut it, bro. So, basically what's going on is that Michael doesn't listen to the course. He doesn't care because he doesn't see the use of shitty courses. However, Michael realized that. This is kind of cool because Eleanor is like, yo, you understand that the guy doesn't care about what you're saying, right? It's kind of important because realizing that Michael doesn't care about the course makes them realize, okay, well, why doesn't he care? Because he's immortal beings, they won't die. There's no true consequences to him dying. I'll eat a whole box of that. Oh God. Are you uploading? You're uploading. So, if Michael can realize what it is to be dying, he would care. We have Tahani and Jason. Tahani and Jason will ultimately lead in a love story. Now, here's the reason, one of the reasons why this is such a good time. This is one of the reasons why there's such a bad time, okay? So, huge spoiler. Why is it so good is because Michael realized that there's no way to change who they are as people in a good place. If they were bad people when they died, they're the bad people when they died. So then Michael, he kind of revives them. So, well, give him more time. If he didn't die that day, would you solve your problem? So he does that. So Tahani and Jason is a dumb plot. Why? Because it's a plot that's made to, okay, so the whole ultimate thing between Tahani and Janet is three things. Getting closer, she closer to Eleanor. I actually really like Tahani characters. At the end, I really like her. Second, it is a plot to make Janet mad. Janet's what? Mad? Why is that important? Janet is impartial. Michael might betray us. Janet literally can't. If she cannot betray us, there's no point. Right? And the third plot is, you want to have Janet and Jason do something. And at the same time, it's kind of cool because, yes, putting them together was a plot to torture them both. However, what if it was something that was meant to happen? It was meant to happen. Also, we had a really good talk this morning, so my brain is stimulated, which is possibly why I love the show so much right now. So yeah, so Shitty and Eleanor convince Michael that, and this is super cool. This is super super cool because Michael cannot die, right? Cannot die. But then Eleanor, and she's a bitch for that. She will make him realize that he might not be able to die physically, but he will be able to die in a way. So, for example, if the neighborhood doesn't work, all of his life work serves no purpose. If his life serves no purposes, then what was the point of it, right? And because what was the point of it, then you're able to ask the following question: what was the point of your life, right? So because that, Michael gets a chill crisis. This is kind of cool because he'll do will have a midlife crisis, which is cool because this is why Vicky doesn't stop trusting Michael. Okay, well this is weird, and I gotta say the writing of the show is amazing. There's a lot of part that I don't appreciate or I don't fall in love with, but when it's good, the show is great. We literally have a wire on both phones, black and red, black and yellow, black and yellow. I'm in a good mood today. Chatting up two girls. So yeah, yeah. So there you go. Shitty asked Michael, listen, you're gonna die if what's his name? The guy who plays Kevin. If Sean realizes what you're doing, it'll kill you, right? So, and this is the craziest thing. Michael is in a worse position that he is. He possibly never had to face adversity, but he is in a bad position. Either he's helping Shitty and he's running away, or he is with Vicky, and Vicky will betray him. In both cases, he ends up being tortured, which is kind of cool because it gives him a reason. You got more of Eleanor past about why she feels shitty, and this is super cool because this is basically explaining Eleanor about death in herself, and this is super nice for a couple of reasons. The first reason why this is nice is because Eleanor is possibly the one that's most similar to Mindy Sinclair, but also the most similar to she's what the baddest out of the four, the worst person. So we see flashback of her realizing that her life is shit. For example, we have a flashback of her mom telling her that her dog is dead and that she has to get over it because it's part of life. We have another scene where her father dies, and you realize that the father dies, the mom is traumatic. Then you realize that a lot of the growth that Eleanor has to do is because the parents are shitty and her mom is still being shitty. See, at the same thing, your growth is all the question of experiences. You live experiences, you take steps. Her mom being so shitty is the reason why she cannot take further steps ahead. Because she cannot take further steps ahead, she's stuck in the same position all the time. So for example, she goes to her father's funeral, her father was a crappy person. And this is super cool because she doesn't care that his father dead. She doesn't care at all. Then she goes to see a store, and she sees a toothbrush stand where there's two parents and there's two kids. And she starts crying because she's like, the two toothbrushes are washing over the toothbrush. So this is actually pretty cool. Why? Because it's her realizing that her life was kind of meaningless. And there's just more to life than being a cunt. Like a better word. We got Jason and Tahani. They're organizing a party, which is super cool. Because again, we are pretending that everything is okay. Now this is also nice because we have Vicky throwing a party, and we have Tahani throwing a party. Brutally speaking, Tahani and Vicky are very similar. Tahani's whole point is to prove that she is better than her sister. Vicky's whole point is she's proving that she's better than Michael. That way she gets the promotion that she feels like she deserves. Michael has a midlife crisis. Kind of cool. So the coolest thing that he does is he writes in Chinese kanji, Japan, which I thought was hilarious. It's it's just nuts to do. But then they're pinpointing that this is bad. Because she says the existential crisis is a great thing. Because you're asking yourself, hey, did my life have meaning? The midlife crisis is horrible because you're saying, okay, well, I'm at midlife when it's time to change right now. You might be able to save somebody through trauma or fear, but you won't be able to save somebody that wants to discover life or live his life fully.
See, and at this point, this is also super important for the character of Michael, because the character of Michael is facing retirement. He's facing inevitable failure, which will lead to his death. And because he's feeling that, he's like, okay, well, I have this amount of time before I'm tortured. Let's just enjoy yourself, you know? But that was cool. That was cool. Do, 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 do. And I actually love the character of Michael, but Janet also is super cool. Janet takes more time to appreciate than Michael Basil. Now there's a scene. The next scene is something I absolutely love. But Eleanor convincing Michael to do the course of Shitty, and this is cool because Eleanor, although much better thanks to Shitty courses, she's still sort of a bad person. So this is I'm evolved enough to see the importance and to tell people how important it is to be a good person versus what I used to be. And she also tells Michael about death and how it's supposed to be okay. See, in this sense, it's also very healing because we saw how her mom approached poorly the fact that death is something, but then she she re- she gave the advice that she wished she had, which is kind of cool, you know. Such a great show. I'm sorry that I gave up yesterday. And Kristen Bell, what a gorgeous lady. You know? Then we have Tahani being super cool. And this is a scene that I love. You see Shitty being there with books, right? And realizing that this is insane. Because this is Irma to shine. And you see how much she grew, but how much she's able to teach, right? And he just gave her a chance. Just amazing. Just amazing. Honestly, where I am, the show to me, I felt pointless, but where I am, it's so meaningful that I'm willing to make sacrifices because I'm willing to watch the whole show. I'm so fucking happy about it. You know? We got Tahani and Jason, and this is super cool because this is the first time where I actually kind of love Jason. Jason talking with Tahani, and she says, I feel like a failure because of Vicky. I feel like whatever I do, it's not meaningful. He's like, what are you talking about? You're nice to me. I like you because you're nice to me. And you're the nicest person to me here. You're the only one that acknowledged my feeling, which is something we see. And at the end, Jason and Tahani both. So why is that important? Because Jason married Janet because she cared about him, and Tahani shows him, so we know that Jason is. In, at the same time, it's so stupid because it makes so much sense. We establish exactly what character is Jason and exactly what character is Tahani. Jason didn't get the care that he wants as a child from Tahani, and Tahani gets the recognition that she wants to. She's a child. Jason doesn't care about his sister; he cares about her, and this is super nice. So it's super nice, because and now we have Michael that's more open about it, and this is super cool because the way it ends is Michael's still a shitty person. He's still very shitty, but he's willing to become a better person, and this is how it should end. It should end with the fact that okay, well, you know what, Michael was shitty, but he's on the way to redemption. And episode 5, which is possibly my favorite episode. Why? Is the trolley dilemma. So the trolley dilemma is one of the biggest questions when it comes to moral, right? And why it's super cool is because you see Eleanor on the grave path. You see Janet and Jason on the grave path. You see Michael willing to take a chance. But this episode is about Shitty. So Shitty used a tramway example as a person. Basically what he says is you have a chance between saving 5 people and 1 person. Who do you end up choosing? Which is super cool because it is like, for example, it is a good question. For example, if you know the person that you're supposed to save, you save 5 strangers, or you save the person that you love, right? And then this, I gotta say, it blew my mind because you said, okay, well, guess what? And what is cool here is Jason and Tahani are part of the thing. They're part of the course. Why I like this episode a lot? Because it's a problem for Chitty. It's not a problem for Michael. It's not a problem for Eleanor. So I thought it was really nice that they put some problematic for Shitty because Shitty so far has been the character that has the less, sadly, growth. Okay, so why do I feel that Shitty has less growth? Because the whole thing is about becoming a better person. she being the one closest to becoming a better person doesn't have to improve as much as Tahani, as Jason, as Eleanor do as Michael did. So he's in a position where it doesn't have to change or improve as much, which means that he doesn't have to put in as much effort to change compared to the others. Because they're putting effort to change, even when it's really interesting, we have to see changes and changes and changes and changes to make sure that, okay, well, what she is doing is working. And this is the importance. There's no this, no. So this is super cool. So you talk about the trolley problem, right? And the trolley problem evolves because he's like, this is so fucking cool. This is so fucking cool. So okay, well, there's 5 people that need organ transplant. You can choose to kill one person and put the organ in 5 people. You kill one person and you save 5. And then Jason's like, it's not the same. And she's like, what do you mean it's not the same? You're killing 5 people, you're killing one person to save 5. Now, the principle of this is the greater good. How far am I willing to go for the greater good? Which is great, because the greater good is going to war to save my country but risking my life. Is my life more important than the life of my country? Which is something like that, right? So what you're saying is also a good example. However, it is different, in my opinion. Now, he does ask the question of why it's not different. The people on the trolley, there's no escape. They're gonna die anyway. The people in the hospital, you have to find a person that's willing to do it. Somebody that's willingly giving their organ to save 5 other people, and that's different. But it's a great example. Now, Michael, when he's not nice, he has to say, humans are good, which is super cool. Now, this is really nice because the whole episode is Michael not understanding, but he's ending up torturing Shitty, which is so fucking cool. Now, here's the bummer. So the trolley is, again, there's a tramway, there's a train coming. You can switch a lever. On one side is one person, on the side is 5 people, right? And then what you're doing is, okay, well, I want to save 5 people. Okay, but you know this person. I still want to save 5 people. Okay, but this person is your parents, or somebody that you love, your girlfriend. You know? This is bad. Why is that bad? Because Shitty cannot take an answer. The whole thing is about Shitty not taking a decision and torturing Shitty, which is kind of cool. So we have, and this is also nice because it's the 4 characters. You got Tahani and Jason, which are super, super, super important this episode. So they're sleeping around, and Jason is super good with the idea. Tahani is a bit ashamed because she's like, Jason doesn't have any stature, so if I'm dating Jason, people are going to think that I lower myself for a standard. There's something wrong with me. Jason is like about the relationship. Tahani is reserved because she feels like she's settling down. Which, in this case, Jason has been a better person to her than anybody in this case, Jason has been a better person to her than even Shitty, which is the better person in the neighborhood. You know? Eleanor asked questions. It's like, okay, well, why are you guys together so much? And then Tahani's like, oh my god, our secret is endangered. Eleanor's no. And just like, what's the problem if she knows? Who cares? Who gives a shit? And Tahani's like, yeah, I do. So this is super cool. We got Eleanor and Shitty, and this is super, super nice because Eleanor and Shitty are, both of them, they grew from this experience. They become better person, etc., etc., etc. The question is Eleanor far enough to be able to learn on her own? For example, right, with Michael is a newer student, and we had Eleanor able to give him a couple of advice, which is great. However, it's begging to ask a question. If something was to happen to Shitty, would Eleanor be okay? We know she's improving, and the fact that we have a new student, which is Michael, remind us of how much she improved. And Shitty is just lost because he's like, I don't know if I can help him. You know? It's tough. So we have this Janet. Give me a sec. And it's super cool. Shitty, he makes her raps to teach, and it's actually a good rap. So we got Janet. Tahani and Jason want to see Janet because she's impartial. So she doesn't want people to know that she's dating Janet. And Janet is obligated by her own rules to not talk about our relationship problem. This is super cool. And this is also nice because by Shiri teaching Michael, it's a lot. How do I say this? It's a lot better. G. Eleanor. For example, right now we're talking about Les Miserables. Les Miserables is a guy that was prosecuted his whole life for something that crime he committed. The crime he committed is he stole a loaf of bread for his starving family, you know? Then he's tortured his whole life, and then you wonder at the end of the movie, what the movie is supposed to teach you, Les Miserables, is did he deserve all that, right? So Michael doesn't understand it. Michael is far, 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 far from doing this. And Michael will question Shitty, like, hey, are you so much better than me? Because Tahani and Jason, right, who are dating. Ultimately speaking, this is unimportant. Because ultimately speaking, it's some sort of advice. But at the same time, it's not the most important because they don't end up together, first of all. And second of all, it's not like you were gonna go, well, I don't remember. They might end up together, which would be important. For now, it's not important. So Janet, why is that important? Because Janet is starting to have glitches. She loses she has a lot of glitches. And this is introducing the theory that, or the concept that Janet is not okay with the relationship between Jason and Tahani. So she's glitching, which means that she has feeling, which she has is soul. You see Janet as this robot, and then because she has a feeling that are making her malfunction, I mean that she has feeling, which means that the sentient being, which means we shouldn't kill her if something was to happen, which is kind of cool. But we didn't have that with Janet yet. Perfect. So now with Shitty, Michael gets Shitty to drive the tramway, right? And do the choices. Now this is super cool. This is super, super, super cool. So now, this is a very good explanation. So they're showing the numbers. So there's 5 workers and 1 worker. They ask Shitty, what do you choose to save, right? And he tells Shitty to make a choice, but he cannot make a choice. So basically what happened is, and he ends up doing what? He ends up killing the 5 of them, which is the wrong choices. Is that the right choices though? I don't know. So then they redo the same exercise, but guess what? This time it's a friend. It's a friend of. Look at this. Look at this. This is a Tom, guys. This is Tom. This is how well this show is made. She's malfunctioning, which is mean that this is a problem, which Tom ends up being Jason. Then we had the same trolley problem, but this time it's his friend. Shitty friend, and it's a friend with the boots, so it's kind of funny. It's kind of really funny. So then Michael goes in and he tells Shitty, okay, well, this is the other problem. We have 5 people that need transplants. But guess what? You have to kill Eleanor, which you're in love with. If you kill Eleanor, she has all the organ that you need. Now this is super cool. So Shitty says no. And Shitty, amazingly speaking, I'm so blown away, goes in and said, no, I have a Hippocratic oath. I will not harm people. This is in the oath that I took as a doctor. So technically speaking, it's not my choice. It's the choice of the order of doctors. So Michael said, okay, well you have to tell people. And this is super cool because there's in the people that you have to tell, it is so fucking cool. Because there's a kid and she says, my father got in an accident, which is a man driving a trolley. That was Shitty that heard him. This is funny. I don't know, it's like, you're full of shit, Michael. You're trying to torture Shitty again, which is super funny. Then Shitty's like, okay, well, guess what? And then this is a super, super important moment for Shitty, right? A super important moment for Shitty because he tells Michael, like, no, you're done. You're not going to my class anymore. You're not welcome in my class anymore. I don't want to be with you. I don't want to be friends with you. And this is the first time that we see Michael angry at somebody, except for Eleanor in the first couple of episodes, right? Eleanor, however, we see a huge growth from her. She's literally talking about how she's sorry because Michael shit the class, and because he's a bad student, she feels responsible. She feels responsible because she introduced him to Shitty, which ultimately led him to get hurt. So she feels responsible for the hurt because she was behind the first contact, right? But she wasn't, but the sentiment is nice. It's super understandable. So Eleanor goes in and fixes the situation, which is kind of nice. It's super nice because the way that she does, right? The way that she does is she's like, you know what? You and I are the same. I wouldn't apologize, but it's up to you. So then, this is kind of crazy because it doesn't make a lot of sense, right? However, it makes all the sense in the world. She's basically asking for the trolley choices. On one road, you're hurting, she's feeling. On the other road, you're saving yourself. Asking him, do you want to keep torturing people or do you want to actually be a nice guy? And she asked him to make a choice. And then for Shitty, who's on a tramway, if Michael saved him, it is kind of nice. I gotta say. And the whole thing is about making the right choices. Are you hurting people to the greater good? Michael has a choice. He can apologize to Shitty, he saved 5 people, or it can be in his own head. So it's kind of nice.
Calling in Eleanor.
And it's kind of cool because Eleanor, she's still a good character. She understands why he's acting like that, because she used to be like that. And then she talks about how she understands how she feels. And what I love about the scene is Eleanor doesn't say do it for me. She just says like, yo, let's fucking do it. So this is funny. Michael feels bad, so he ends up giving gifts to everybody, which is a nice gesture. He gives Tahani a diamond, he gives Jason a balloon, which Jason popped, and he gives Eleanor a huge shrimp, unlimited shrimp things. He gives Shitty a book from one of his favorite, ethic forefather, but it has never been published, right? And everybody's like super happy about what Michael gave. Shitty says, you know what, I don't want you to get this is a bribe and I'll not take it. If I take this bribe, I'm basically saying that it's okay to treat me like shit, and I don't think it's okay to treat me like shit. So this is huge because then Michael's like, okay, well, what do you want? And Shitty's like, I want an apologies, and I want real apologies. So this is the course that Michael did. It doesn't matter how little Michael cared about the course. It doesn't matter how little Michael cared about the trolley problem. All that matters is that at the end, he was able to apologize sincerely to Shitty because he knew deep down what he did was not cool. So this is the growth we're talking about. Because there is some growth.
I fear this neighborhood is in danger.
Because there's problem. And this is so cool. This is so fucking cool. Because this is the proof that they need. This is the proof that they needed. They need Michael to show that he was willing to help them. That he wouldn't betray him. This is the show of humanity that they needed to say, you know what? He does care. Maybe he won't betray us. So now we have Janet malfunctioning. Malfunctioning because Tahani and Jason asked her to be there to give her couple counseling. However, she's malfunctioning and Michael is aware of that. I have time for another episode after that I have to do the tournament. Episode 6, Janet and Michael. So the flashback in this one are super cool because we're seeing how Michael basically stole Janet to do his bidding. Now, why is that such a good scene? It's a great scene because, and this is such a good episode. Again, it's a great scene because this is the action of evil Michael, and now we're getting a reality of this is good Michael. So we're getting her how to steal. You got Michael who's bragging about the good Janet. Now, this is kind of important.
In nature, they keep their Janets in a loop.
This is important because he basically lied to her. Michael tells Janet that it's going to be a good place because she's a good Janet. There's a balance is a good Janet. So basically what he's telling her is like, I'm going to use a good Janet to make the neighborhood a good place. Not a perfect place, but a good place. And it's kind of cool because we see in the past that Michael is kind of using Janet, right? And then Michael possibly has some remorse, but it's more so like, no, this won't work. This is not gonna, you're not gonna be helpful to me. We see a flashback, right? And this is so cool. This is so cool because what he does, and this is kind of nice because we know this from the show. So he says the good place. He creates a neighborhood. It's like, you know what? There's something just missing. There's something here that's missing. I don't know what it is. It's missing, and he has all of those pudding places. And then Janet says, "What about frozen yogurt?" And he's like, "This is genius." So eat it. And he says, "This is good. This is not great. It's just good," which is why it's perfect. So because of that, they really bond. So the whole film, there's actually a really nice scene. It's a really nice scene because you truly see how Michael is changing as a person. So Michael will try to figure out how Janet works. So he sees the chapter 20, by the way. He sees the problem. He says, okay, well, what could be the problem? So you're lying to yourself, right? And this is insane because he realizes that she's lied to herself, and because he lied to her, she's malfunctioning, which is not true. But Michael does feel bad about it. Michael does really feel bad about it. which is also important. However, then we realize that Janet problems are with Jason and Tahani. Now this is also important because Michael is the only one that has knowledge over all the timelines. So we do because we're watcher of the show, but nobody else in the show knows that. So we remember in the first timeline, Jason and Tahani and Janet ended up together, married. So they're saying that there's still feeling for Jason. So he's like, okay, well, guess what? This is why you're malfunctioning, right? So it gives advice, and the advice of Michael is like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do here. And it's Eleanor that comes in and says, you know what? I don't understand what you need. You need a rebound guy, which will ultimately lead you to create Derek, which is the next episode. Derek is not a great episode, but still, there's a great purpose for Derek. Okay, that's good, that's good, that's good.
No, that is impossible.
I love this.
When was the first?
See, the first glitch was always with Tahani and Jason. So this whole episode is kind of nice. Now we're seeing we're getting Shitty to be tortured. It's nice because Janet and Michael are now part of the plan, and we're seeing how everybody else reacts. I don't remember much of this episode though.
Oh, yeah. Okay, let's.
Watch it today,
escape.
Yeah, I watched it so much today.
You're my friend.
That's super sweet. That is super sweet. Michael, why is that such a sweet episode? Is because Michael did improve himself. He did improve himself, and he did become a better person. So then the old Michael wouldn't have a problem with rebooting Janet, right? And Janet's like, I cannot deal with this I cannot deal with this problem. And then this asks a bigger question, which is assisted living. Do you want somebody if you're hurting, right? Are you pro euthanasia or no? Janet said, I'm suffering, please kill me. And Michael said, I can't, you're my friend, I don't want to kill you. And this is sweet because this is an act of wanting to help Janet. And you know what's insane? He doesn't have to be mad he doesn't have to be nice to Shitty, Eleanor, Tahani, and Janu or Jason. You only have to be nice with Janet because he feels responsible. So this is a huge growth. Why? Because we just saw Eleanor feel bad for Shitty because she introduced Michael to the course. This is what it is. So we have Eleanor that says, listen, you need to have a rebound. And this is the advice that she's going to follow. So she creates Derek. And the craziest thing with her creating Derek is that she's not supposed to do that. It's a part of her. This is really cool because the actor of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which makes it, I think, the third one to be, and they both show. They're both produced by Formula One, so possibly because of that.
Eleanor said that to forget about Jason, I should.
Derek is typical because, again, it's a mess. And she's not supposed to create him. And she kind of share power with Derek, between her and Derek. There we go. So I'm going to stop here. And we're going to do the tournament for the tower, which means I'm going to be back in about 20 minutes. Love you guys. Take it easy. Peace. Good. I was petrified. Oh la la. Cassie. Good stuff. La casa. Two. She went viral, holy shit. I slit my own throat just to see if you want me. You're using too much of your throat, bro. Short things in your room. Good. Jacob, Martin, and Julian, possibly.